Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch one of the last few not super snowy, not super cold mornings for a while. Got some snow coming in, supposed to be around 10:30 today, so we've got a few more hours. And depending on who you listen to, could be anywhere from an inch to 5 inches. That's supposed to come in. And then this weekend, we get really cold, 16-degree highs, -8 lows, and snow chance during that time. So yeah, looks like winter's finally gonna get here and gonna come in with a bang, it feels like. Anyways, I don't know if anyone saw it yesterday. I just kind of saw a blip in the news. There was all this other stuff, an explosion in Fort Worth, Texas. Some guy, tried to ram the White House gate, found some tunnels underneath not a synagogue, maybe it was a synagogue, I don't remember, some Jewish building in New York. All kinds of just craziness going on. And the one thing that I think most people just kind of glazed over or missed completely was that the White House and the Defense Department has said that all attempts to negotiate some kind of peaceful resolution in the Middle East has failed, and that they are now fully focused and gearing up to prepare for an expanded war in the Middle East. That this Israeli-Gaza thing is about ready to kick off into something much bigger, and that the U.S. military and all of the strategists in the Defense Department, they're planning it out because they feel that there's no other means, there's no other way. And personally, I kind of think that that's much bigger than all the other stuff that was floating around in the news. I think most of it's just fluff, meaningless, in the grand scheme of things. It's meaningful in that moment and meaningful for the people that's involved, but not in the grand scheme of things. I've been saying this for a while, and to echo someone else, I believe, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but it's been months ago, 6 months to a year ago, I believe it was Joe Fox over at Viking Preparedness said that he felt that the next World War III thing was going to happen in the Middle East, that it wasn't going to be in Ukraine and Russia or Taiwan and China. It was going to be in the Middle East. And it looks as though he might just be correct in that assessment, because things are heating up there quite a bit. And I think that this one, as opposed to previous Middle Eastern wars over the last couple of decades, is going to be more significant for us here at home. Because, well, of various things. Number one, we're seeing much more of a divide in the world of countries standing up, speaking out against the United States, or at least showing that they're not any longer interested in being a partner or mostly using our dollar. I saw the other day that another 30 nations have said that they want to join BRICS. So BRICS is going to be expanding even more, which is, we already knew that was going to happen. But we're watching the world become less interested in doing business with the United States. We're going into debt. Our military is weak. We look ridiculous on the international global landscape. And so that's one big thing. Secondly, there's a lot more stuff going on here at home with regards to what's going on in the Middle East. The other day in New York, several bridges in New York were shut down due to protesters. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. Air Force One was landing, I think, in Dallas, or getting ready to, and protesters were attempting to break through and run out on the tarmac. There's just been a lot more increased rioting, protesting, and violence due to the issues going on there in the Middle East, here at home. And so the very real possibility of things affecting us directly here at home, not just overseas, is much more real this time around. We also have millions and millions more of illegals that's poured through this country into the border, poured into the country through the border. Get it right there. And many of them were Muslim. I don't know the exact numbers, but we know from just, you know, looking at things that there were many Muslims that came through. And so the possibility of many of them reacting badly to the rest of the country because of what would be happening in the Middle East, I'd say is a pretty good chance. So all in all, even if, and I think this is a big if, but even if what happens in the Middle East does not spin off into a big world war, I think it still has the chance to really make things bad for us here in the United States. But I also believe that this is World War III has already started, but this is the start of the real World War III. This will probably go down in history books if they're still written and people are around to read them. But probably go down in history books as the starting point. And that's just my guess. That's not any kind of official anything. It's just a guess. And so I think it's something we need to prepare for like we do with all the other stuff. And I know most of you have already been preparing for this because most of you you've already assumed that this is going to spiral out of control. So keep that up, but continually be aware because, like I said, this could have direct ramifications here at home. Not just because oil prices go up or because shipping goes up and it's going to make things more expensive or hard to come by. That's already happening with the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Shipping costs have just exploded, and the availability of goods is going down because it's taken so long to get around all that mess, or it's not even doing it at all. It's going to be more than those things, though. It's going to be more than just sending our sons and fathers and uncles and stuff off to war. It's going to be affecting people directly here in the homeland, most likely. Terrorist attacks, riots, civil uprising, protests, all kinds of stuff. Things that's happening just on a direct basis, random acts of violence towards people. Just because, well, that's the state of the world that we're in right now. And a major escalation in the war in the Middle East will only give folks like that more fuel that they need to justify their actions and to act out against you. So with all the other stuff going on, that some of it's important, some of it's just silliness, I think this is a pretty big one, and make sure you're paying attention to it. A lot of things could happen with this, but I think mostly we just need to keep our head on a swivel. I've been saying that a lot lately, meaning you need to be, you're paying attention, okay? Forget all the military jargon, just say it plain and simple. Pay attention to your surroundings when you're out and about. Be aware of what's going on and who's around you. Stay prepared. Pack heat, keep a kit in your car, keep topping off your food and your supplies. Start pushing yourself harder and harder towards self-sufficiency, growing food, producing things for yourself, preserving your food. All that kind of stuff is going to play very important into all of this that's happening, because the less you're dependent upon a system that's failing, the less chance you have of going down with it. I've used the analogy many times. You're on a big ship and it's starting to sink. Your options are to stay on that ship and go down with it and probably get pulled down. I mean, you're going to be on dry land or on dry something for a little bit longer, or you could just jump in the water now, start swimming, get away from that sinking ship. You're going to be wet longer, but you're probably going to have a better chance of surviving than to being pulled down by that ship. And that's really where we're at now. At some point, you're going to be forced to be cut off from the system. You're going to be forced to do with less. You're going to be forced to suffer. Might as well do it now on your own terms and in your own way than to do it under duress. So folks, you need to be getting your houses in order and prepared for this. I think this is pretty big. It, like I said, came out in the news yesterday and almost no one talked about it. Everyone was talking about so many other things happening. And this one here, this is pretty significant. I mean, we are officially getting ourselves ready for war in the Middle East because we feel there are no other options. And like I said, I think it's going to be a whole different game than the last time. A lot of different players, much more global, much more hatred, much more divisiveness. It's going to be a different game, folks. You need to get ready, get your houses in order, prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.